Can you believe that this is the same place? Hi, my name is Ingrid, and what you see here is how my homestead has transformed within the last year. I bought this property 1 year ago, and on this video I will show you plenty of before and after views, and I will walk you through the biggest jobs that I have gotten done here so far. For many of these jobs I have created longer videos, and I will link them to this one, so you can check them out if you're interested. Today is a very special day for me, because exactly 1 year ago on this day I bought this old homestead, and when I signed the papers I could get access to this property immediately because there was no one who had to move out. So I came on the same day. I walked around on the property and I filmed how it looked like on the first day. And today I did the same thing. I walked the same trail and I filmed how it looks like a year later. I have invited you here to share my favorite view from the terrace of the summer house. And before I show you around, I will tell you a little bit about what has happened here over the year. And I honestly, when I first got this place and I looked around, I saw all the buildings and what was inside all of those buildings, because they were filled up with a lot of things. I thought it would take me 1 year to get all these buildings cleaned and cleared up to begin with. But actually I have managed to get so much more done, especially thanks to everyone who has helped me. I have not done this alone, and I'm very thankful for all the help that I have received from my friends and my family. So first of all, let's talk about the buildings. When I came here, there were 14 buildings. So all of them had to be cleared out. And by now I have 6 buildings left. So 8 of the buildings were either demolished or taken away. So one of the buildings was actually taken away. It was a metal shed that was transported away to someone else's property who wanted to use it as a garden house, or a garden shed actually. So it's 8 buildings less now, so it's visibly a big difference. Another big difference visually is clearing a lot of the bushes and overgrowth on this property, and that makes the property look so much more open, and I can actually see the landscape under the overgrowth. I have also planted some trees, I have planted some bushes, and I'm looking forward to see them grow or blossom, whatever was the purpose of planting them. Other important changes have been regarding the infrastructure. So I've built a new road. There is now a proper gravel road leading to the house. Previously there was just a mud trail, let's say. And this is really a prerequisite for anyone to come and work on the property, to have decent access by car. Then water. I have had a well dug. There was no well here, there was no clean water supply any other way. And yes, now I have access and water. And the third thing regarding infrastructure is the electricity, which I did have a connection, but there were way too little amps and phases. So I had one phase 10 amps electricity connection, and I needed to upgrade it. This is now 3 times 20 amps that I have. And I have also taken the cable from the electric line that connected to the house under the ground. Previously it was attached to the house, and that's also not a good solution. So that's another big job done. So yes, before getting to the house, before starting to renovate the house, I wanted to remove all the buildings that weren't necessary, that were collapsing. I wanted to get the infrastructure in place, and I also wanted to get a lot of cleanup done or clearing out, and that means mostly the garbage that is on this property. There was a lot of it dumped under the bushes in many places around this yard, and I have collected and removed to proper recycling or garbage management facilities several trailerfuls of garbage, that is plastic, glass, clothes, footwear, also hazardous waste like big and small batteries, car batteries, tractor batteries, small flashlight batteries, tar paper, those roofing sheets that contain asbestos, those also I have taken several tons of those away from this property to proper facilities that manage that kind of hazardous waste. Also, a lot of landscaping has been done together with building the road, with digging the well, and demolishing the stable. All of that came with additional landscaping as well, that we've had done with an excavator, also digging the underground cable. Also, then we evened out a lot of the area that was surrounding that cable line. What else? Of course, the house itself. The house has been cleaned up for renovation. The siding has been removed, inside the furniture, wallpaper, the floor has been removed. The porch has been demolished, and also by now some of the logs have been replaced, either fully or partially patched up. And what else? Oh yes, the garden. I also have created a little garden with planter boxes where I'm getting some herbs, and I also have one bed for potatoes. I am going to harvest the first potatoes in a few days now. So, oh, also my dog wants to have a word. Nico, what did you want to say? Okay. He needs some attention. He's just chasing butterflies and bugs in the countryside now. So yes, to sum up, it has been a very busy year. I didn't imagine that I would get so much done. But here I am, ready to focus on building or renovating the house now. Pretty much everything else is taken care of. And those were the bigger jobs that I have gotten done here in the first year. I'm very much looking forward to continuing this journey and sharing my journey with you. And now I hope you will enjoy the before and afters that I'm going to share. I have removed all of the thuja from my property because I am really not a fan. And another big change that you see here is the gravel road that was built in spring. Removing the bushes revealed a pond back there, and also clearing out all the overgrowth opened up the space nicely. The green shed was taken away, and here as well the thuja was removed. A lot of the overgrowth was cut in this area under the apple trees. The big pile of firewood was removed as well, and I planted flowers here instead. Back here you start to see the collapsed stable. Also some other things, such as the fence that had been around the house was dumped here into the pile of the collapsed building. The house looks a lot different now with the porch removed. The siding was removed, and then also the log wall was replaced with a timber frame because this wall was so damaged it couldn't be saved. I have removed the old soil from under the porch here, and I filled this area up with new sand. On the house, the bottom logs on two sides of the house have been replaced. A lot of the plants that were on the side of the house I have actually dug out and planted elsewhere so that they wouldn't be destroyed during the construction works, because there will be a lot of digging here on the side of the house. Several of the buildings outside were demolished. Another thing that you can see here is the line along which the underground electric cable was dug. Here again you can see the collapsed table in the middle of the bushes and trees there. And now it's gone. This little shed here had almost been swallowed by wild rosehip bushes. This was the most awful looking shed on this property, and
it was the first thing that I demolished. This area as well was covered in rosehip bushes, and there is actually a big dog shed in the middle of those bushes here. Now there are tree stumps that we dug out. This passage was overtaken by bullace trees. Clearing this area made such a huge difference. One thing I forgot to mention before was that I painted some buildings, like this outhouse here and another shed, plus a wall of the garage that hadn't been painted before for some reason. Instead of these huge nettles here, I started a garden, which I am planning to expand over the next years. It turns out some red currants and gooseberry bushes were hiding in all this mess. Back there is my small planter box garden. There was really just this one trail where I dared to walk at first. This part here is kind of a low spot on the property. As you can see, with rain it is filled up with water and it's quite soft also in spring, so I need to figure out how to fix this later on. Now we are getting back from our little tour. This is obviously not the final result. This is just the result of the first year of working around this household. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.